Hey everybody, welcome to the Deep Dive Show. My name is Motswana. Our goal with this show is to bring you and I in proximity to the people and ideas that will show us that it is possible and it can be done, and eventually help us achieve on our dreams and on our goals. Today, we have yet another special guest. This man is the co-founder of Coffee App Inc., and he is the founder and CEO of iFirsh. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome to the show today, Mr. Moatshe. Welcome to the show, my man.
Hello. I prefer you call Martin de Klerk Moatshe.
Martin de Klerk Moatshe.
So it's easier that way.
Yes.
No, thank you, everyone. You're welcome this evening.
Yes, sir. Yeah. I'm curious, Martin de Klerk Moatshe. Talk to us about de Klerk. Okay. What does the name mean? Where is it from?
Actually, my name, Kibidu Ahelakote de Klerk. That's my name from childhood. Then I came to Gebs. I lived Matudugwan in a village. So when I came to Gebs, everyone couldn't say de Klerk in how it's called properly. So then my mother gave me Martin. So I'll just switch to the names from.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I put it. So then I was Martin de Klerk. But if you go back to Matudugwan, it's like, hey, de Klerk, yeah.
Okay.
Because I was born when Mandela was released from prison by FW de Klerk. So you know that notion, this man is the one that released Mandela from prison. Yeah. So that's why I got the name.
The significance of the name.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a cool name too.
Thank you, man.
If I was a villain, I think that name would be powerful.
Yeah.
Imagine me just coming to the room and what's your name? My name is de Klerk. It has that, X factor to it, right?
Yeah. And also I think Martin, because my mother was into politics, because after Martin Luther King, then de Klerk. So I'm a liberator in a way.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Awesome. So talk to us about iFirsh. What is the work that you do there, and how do you help people?
iFirsh is intelligent fishing of products and services. You know that before you could buy anything, the first thing that you look for is for a code. There's no how you can buy without getting a few more, 2 or 3 quotations to inform your purchasing decision. So I came up with iFirsh, I think, as a concept back in 2015. I was coming to Gaborone to come and get codes, go back to the village, that's around 100 kilometers, go back to the village and say, Matubudukwane. So I'll come back here and say, quotation, so you imagine you go to Builders Airport Junction, you come to G West Industrial, you would go back, and by that time you're using public transport. So just to get quotations of different things that you're looking for, it took us a week before we could take a decision. So then I go back to Msadi Moholi because So now and by that time I'm home. I'm unemployed. I just dropped out of school. So I was just thinking what can be done. So that's how iFirsh came about as a first ideation stage. Then it continued hey, this thing can be done digitally. Why am I going through all that? So I started just researching. Then I bumped into tenders. Then that's where now we started now tender. I'm no, tender is big. A lot of companies So how about we do sort of an e-tender whereby you don't have to buy this book. It's called Gazette. That one. Eh? So we got that book, and by that time, we used to scan it because government was refusing to give us the soft copy. So you'd buy it, scan it, send to companies just like that. So we were doing that. Then you said, this thing is not working. So we closed the shop. It just died naturally. But then I think in COVID-19 hit. And when COVID hit, a lot of business were closing shop. People did not know where to buy. I myself was privileged to get a hold of a supplier who was doing sanitizers. So I had sanitizers. So when they did lock up a lockdown there, so I'm stuck in going with a stock of sanitizers. I don't have a permit to move around. So, and I'm iFirsh, So that thing now started coming back again and say, imagine people are now busy looking for this and I don't have a permit and I have them. So what do I do? So that's when now I revived the idea altogether. Then here we are.
Beautiful. So you went into this from a pain point that you experienced and many other people's pain points.
Yeah.
Now, talk to me now about how was the process? Because I wanna, you started a tech company.
Yeah.
You know, we don't normally start, maybe let me not say normally, but it's not every day we see tech companies from Botswana.
Yeah.
We know of people that are into farming, into what, the kind of general businesses we know. How were you able to, struck out this path by yourself and be able to make it work?
For me, I've always been inspired by Jeff Bezos, Alibaba guy, Jack Ma. So I really used to read a lot about them, watch a lot of YouTube videos about them, because this journey, my entrepreneurial journey started at a very young age. So I used to just learn about this guy. So the only thing when I wanted to start a company, the only thing that would make sense for me was to go into tech, because of the impact that it create and the inclusivity that it creates. Even the people that are even far away from what you call the services, in Gaborone, you have all the services centered in one location.
Yeah.
But very far people from, they cannot
access
them. So for me, tech was the only thing on my mind when I went into business, because I was inspired by these giants. So yeah, I think.
Were they very receptive? How were you, the building of it? Because I want to get into that part, the building of the app, the building of the
app. The building of the app, then when it started, it was not the first one that we built.
Yeah.
Mind you, we built the other ones that failed. So when we did this one, we had to get it right. So because now the mistakes that happened before, we needed to avoid them. So one of the things that normally fails in tech is when you have an idea, then you just go to market without having your customers input into building the product.
Yes.
So what we did is immediately after lockdown, we went around companies and we shared the idea with them and how it works. So when we even crafted the whole workflow of it, the scope of work, we now even have the input of the user. So that's what we did. And one of iFirsh lead developers is Motswana, but stays in Canada, is one of our developers. So we spent a lot of time really ideating. This was in 2020, right? So we started building in 2020. And mind you, when you build, you want hey, in 3 months, I need to be launching this thing and stuff. But it took us a year and 3 months to finally get it right. And when we finally get it right, then we already have existing users that wanted to test the platform. So it was much more easier now to go to market, because we already have build base when we were building.
Awesome.
So I usually say it's good when you start with a customer that you've already identified, then you help build the solution with them.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. We're going to press it for a break. We'll be back with Martin de Klerk Moatshe. Welcome back, everybody. We're in a different segment. We're in a new segment called Rapid Fire. We're just going to be asking our speaker a bunch of different questions that don't necessarily lead to business or what we're talking about. So, Mr. Moatshe.
Yeah.
Question number 1 on Rapid Fire. What do you do on your downtime when you have nothing to do?
I'm a DIY guy, so I'll find something to do outside. I have chickens, so I like just spending my time there. It's just joy, planting trees. I have a garden there, so I love that. No, I don't do soccer. I'm sorry.
All right.
I'm the only guy who doesn't watch soccer. So
really?
Yeah.
You don't even watch it at all?
No, I don't know what's happening with Man U and Arsenal and all that, but I see a lot of people post about Man U and Arsenal. So yeah.
Yeah, no, Man U. It was a simple fixture for Man U. Simple. All right. Question number 2. Yeah. What is your guilty pleasure?
What is it? I think What is it? I think it's a bit of Facebook. I think I like but I like politics. Like politics, so I follow them a lot. But when you invest a time in politics, you get hit a lot. So yeah,
For sure.
yeah, politics.
All right. So I want you to. Where do you stand on this? On the famous pineapple on pizza debate. Where's your stand? Are you for pineapple or without pineapple?
Without.
Yeah. Awesome.
Just straight face.
Yeah. For sure. All right. Complete the sentence. The way to my heart is. What is the way to your heart?
Hey man. The way to my heart. There are a lot of things, but this time around I'll just choose just good vibes. I like positive people, sit around positivity and all that. Yeah, good vibes.
Awesome. Well put. The last question on rapid fire is, which app can't you live with on your phone?
WhatsApp.
WhatsApp.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say iFirsh.
No. WhatsApp.
Yeah.
All right. I think I spend most of my time, I think, also in WhatsApp communicating. I think I spend my time in communicating.
All right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a wrap on Rapid Fire with Mr. Moatshe. Welcome back, everybody. We're here with Martin Klerk Moatshe of iFirsh. Now, you have stated actually that your aim is to transact $100 million.
Yes.
Worth of goods and services by July 2023.
Yeah.
First of all, congratulations for setting it right there.
Yeah.
I think it's extremely powerful. And I think it's even more powerful because it's in US dollars, not even in pulas.
Yes.
So talk to me about how you want to get around and do that.
We've been working behind the scenes for quite some time with government. Because if you look at procurement, like for small procurement, I'm looking for 10, 50 bottles of water. It doesn't go through a tender. Someone has to call 3 people and get a quote from them. So now we want to digitize that and also make them transparent. Mind you, if I have to call 3 people and there were 1,000 people out there, who am I picking? What's the criteria for picking? So you could see that there are some gaps there where corruption could happen, right? And so now with iFirsh, when they want something like that, bottles of water, it's a small department there. So when they create that request for quotations routed to all companies, right? And they can get, so we are doing that transparent. So we are working with government for now. Behind the scenes, we will close it so that they can procure through iFirsh those small RFQs. I want stationery, I want confectionery, I want all those small items. So if you look at government's budget on RFQs, it's over a 1 billion pula. So if you take the 1 billion pula for government and you take that 1 billion pula for government and the private sector, that for now we are solely based on the private sector and individuals. Total value of transactions with 10 months, it's already 1 million pula on iFirsh. So you could see that we're on the right track with limited funding. We're already at 1 million pula. And yet people are not yet there onboarded on iFirsh. So I think it's quite attainable. Once we get the funding right, then everything will fall into place.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Talking about funding, you won from Total Energies.
Yes.
Talk to us about that.
And
even how you got to win. I mean, okay. I would like to win.
You like to
I
win.
would like to win funding. So talk to me about how you got to getting funding and
we applied, they take out the applications and they root them out and everyone can get to apply. So we applied last year, December, and we went through the process and we were shortlisted. So we went for pitching. And my pitch was simple. Everyone who has pitched before, they all have a business and they procure goods and services. And also what we are doing at iFirsh is that we are creating access to market for small businesses.
Yeah.
So even if you fund any other business, you give any other business the prize money, they're still going to need iFirsh because for them to access markets is through iFirsh. So how about you find the guy here in iFirsh And the guy in iFirsh makes sure that that one access to market so that once the business is more iFirsh. So what we are doing is just creating a conducive environment for everyone, big or small, to thrive. So fund us. So that's our
That was
pitch.
your
That's
simple.
that was my pitch. Simple as that. So yeah, that's it.
And then Kalakhat.
That's it. So that's it. So then we won the prize money, and
Are you at liberty to tell us?
it's 100K. It's 100K. It's not much. It's 100K. It's good money.
I think
because
if you give even one of us here 100K.
yeah, no, it's good money. It's
could be
good money.
quite-
It's good
it
money.
could be quite some. Yeah.
It's actually needed. I think what they're doing is quite impressive.
Yes.
A lot of things we would not manage without Total Energies, and funding this like really innovative ideas, because I'm not the only who got the prize money. We had this other business, aquaponics. They're funding like really brilliant, innovative ideas. So it's and coming it from the private sector also. Normally, government is the one that always leads in these things, but now it's the private sector. So it's quite impressive.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So talk to me about how, because this is something that people, like we've been talking about it during the break, and people actually clapped hands for iFirsh and what it's doing. Talk to me about how you're putting it in front of people and the value of the way you put it in front of people. Yes.
You mean in the sense like, what is iFirsh and
no, how you're taking it out to people, so
how
that
we
people
taking
know there's something called iFirsh, and this is how I can access iFirsh.
Oh, okay. I think for now we've been limited to like your virtual spaces. It could be here on a podcast. We did BTV, we did radio, we did Daily News, we really went in a number of couple from RB2 to Gaps FM, So we are really putting it out there. It takes time when you do the marketing. It really takes time and a lot of budget. But that's how we do it. And last week you were in the consumer affairs for the past 7 days. I'm still exhausted from it because you would stand from 8 to 5. Yeah. But so we are really putting it out there. And a lot of Botswana, we interacted with a lot of Botswana during the consumer affairs. I think it's one of the biggest trade shows with 65,000 visitors. So we really got a lot of mileage and a lot of interactions, really personal with Botswana. Because they were asking a lot of questions. What do we do? Really, I've seen this on TV, but what is it? So we had to explain it. So I think it has been a positive outcome from that interaction, physical, and I think more needs to be done in terms of like those
pushing it out there
on like physical.
And talking about that,
stuff,
because I want to jump on how are Botswana accepting it? How are they adopting it? How quickly are they adopting it as opposed to how you had?
I think if you were following on our Facebook page, immediately when we told people that this is iFirsh, you can simply get a quotation instantly. If you go into iFirsh platform, you can create a request for quotation, get multiple. A lot of Botswana were downloading it on spot. So you would see that a lot of Botswana are hungry for solutions that can save them money, that are efficient, that are transparent. It brought a lot of hope for even SMEs. A lot of them came from Hanzi to do an exhibition. And after 7 days, they are gone. But when we told them that you can actually create your storefront in iFirsh, create your profile, and at any time, be it Mothalmo Gaborone, can be able to inquire about your business or request a quotation from them. So they loved the idea that they could, like the exposure they received digitally. They loved the virtual storefronts you could put in different locations. Like you could be in Hanzi, then you choose Maung, Gang, or Joining. You can choose other towns around you that whenever a person is in Joining and says they want PPE, and yet you are in Hanzi, you would still see them, yet your shop is in Hanzi. So in iFirsh, you can have those visual stores or branches in different locations. So the reception was quite overwhelming. they really loved it. They really loved it, and they saw a lot of value that it could bring in their businesses.
Awesome. We're going to pause here for a break. We'll be back with Klerk Moatshe. Welcome back, everybody, to the Deep Dive Show. We're here with Klerk Moatshe. And if you've watched this episode up to this point, I salute you. Please drop a like, give us your comments on your biggest takeaway, and definitely consider subscribing to the channel. Now, Mr. Moatshe, iFirsh is a platform that connects buyers and suppliers in an easy and convenient way, so that if I'm looking for a quotation, I go to a supplier, and then he can send it to me in an easy and convenient way.
Yes.
I get it. Have I put it down for... Well,
yes, you haven't left anything. It gives you that convenience and that efficiency to not put your fuel, go around the city looking for a quote, or having to call. You know that generally in Botswana, if you have to get a quote, I actually have to beg someone to give it to me. It can take me 7 days. Can get a quotation. So we are solving the issues of delays in procurement. And so that's what iFirsh does. It helps you to get those quotations and just your whole purchase process made seamless.
But it doesn't only do that.
Yes.
Talk to us about the other functions that we're going to get as a benefit of signing up to iFirsh.
So once you're in iFirsh and you've created your request for quotations and you get your responses back, you could do a purchase order. So if I see something that I like, very right price there, I'll simply click on iFirsh on purchase order, so that I make a purchase order and informs the supplier that this guy has made a purchase order. So I start preparing your order, right? And also, again, within the app, you can negotiate, you can chat. So buyers and suppliers can have that interaction within the app, whereby they can say, Nyame, your pricing is high, or can you deliver, and all other interactions that can happen in the app. You are able as a supplier to track the customer and have that conversation continuing and repetitive, and get repetitive business from the same client. Awesome. So that's what iFirsh does. And what I like more about iFirsh is digitization. Like every time the president talks about digitization,
yes,
and we are actually doing it. We get companies as far as Hansi, small business owners, doing PPE. They can get business as far as Mahalape or Silibe Pikwe, even though they're in Hansi. Because they are on iFirsh platform, they have created their profile there, and anybody can access them. So we are really digitizing SMEs, and it does not even stop here. It means someone in Zambia, if they're looking for something in Botswana, they can get it, because they simply say, I want this kind of equipment, or I want PPE, or I want services, this kind of services. So they can be able to, Botswana companies are visible globally. So awesome. We do that Africa trade, and as Botswana trading with other countries.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Now I want us to go back. 2018.
Yes, sir.
You co-founded a company.
Yeah.
Walk us through that, and even how, I believe you're still working on it even at this present day.
Yes.
And many people don't know about that. So tell us about that.
Oh, yeah. If you go back, I said in 2015, that's when we tried this iFirsh, and it didn't work. And it was not even called iFirsh by then.
Yes.
So it was just a concept on its own there. So we then, when I gave up on it, then in 2017, I go to Copenhagen. So when I was there, we're en route was Dubai. So when I get there, man, I get inspired. So that's why it's important for you to travel. When I get there, I'm inspired. I'm like, I want to do business here. How can I do business here? So I start scratching my head.
Yeah.
So all my trip, I was not even focused on me enjoying why I'm there, but rather on how can I make sure that I stay here, and continue doing business globally. So I started just drafting, and I bumped into business aviation, which is private aviation, your private jets, and all that. So when I went deep into my research, I found that, there's actually a gap here. So there's what we call a jet lag, whereby now you order a private jet. It takes you from maybe London to Rome, Italy. When it gets there, so when I only hired it one trip, so hi boy, so I learned about this. I'm like, good Lord, yeah, there's business there. So that means it's empty. So when it's empty, you get it at half the price. When it's already going back. So I'm like, yeah, a lot of people don't know about this. So okay, now I keep learning. Then along the way, I'm like,
so no pagami jet. I wanted to just get that straight.
No, I was not next to Parama jet. It was just a 747.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
So then I started like, now this thing it's an idea.
Yeah.
So now I started researching. I see that as small as France is, but there are over 87,000 private jet on 1 month. Like imagine 60,000 to 70, 80,000 just in France. Internal flights, the private jet. So people actually fly private. I learned, I'm like, oh, in North America, there's actually like 90% of the market toward private aviation. It happens between Europe and North America. So that's the market. So I'm like, yeah, no, I'm going into this now. So I've got my brother then in Canada. So we set up CoFly in Canada. So we started developing it.
I haven't been pronouncing it properly. We're saying CoFly.
Oh, CoFly, yeah?
Yeah, CoFly.
It's a CoFly.
Pardon me, yeah.
So I was like,
makes
okay,
sense now.
Okay, no, fine. So now, a lot of people in Silicon Valley, like in San Francisco, there is the market's like a lot of lawyers, tech guys, and all of that. It's expensive to live there. So they fly in every morning. I'm like, yeah, no, cool. This thing is cool.
Wait. So it's cheaper to fly in than to live in Silicon Valley.
Yes. So the guys are flying in. I'm like, yeah, no, this is crazy. So we set up CoFly there. We got developers on board. And one of the mistakes that we did is like, chop, do this thing for us, right? So you get developers in India. They developed this thing for us. We then went to, in 2019, we did now launch it at, what that thing, man? Like it's the biggest tech conference in North America, GTX. Forgot the thing, man. It's 25,000 attendees, like tech only. So we got the Indians. They came in. One of the guys they came in there. Mendip came into to Toronto there. So it was held in Canada. Yeah. So we did that. Hey man, we even got contacts. So we're about to go big now. So what we do at CoFly is that you book a private jet. It's expensive for you. So what you do, you have extra seats that you are not using. So if you put in people there, instead of paying $10,000 all at one, now you can have people split it with $2,000 or 1.8 or whatever. So you can actually fly private. Even the ordinary people can fly private because they can afford to, like, it's $1,000, So that's what we did. So CoFly means shared, So you CoFly. So that's what you do. And at the same time in CoFly, the app allows you to build your network. Just like in LinkedIn, you see, oh, this is a lawyer guy and he's traveling from. So now if I'm traveling, I book the private jet and I'm leaving to New York, it will post that there's a jet that is leaving to New York. And who are the guys? Baba Mohuyonia, Supins. So you can even connect them and build a network from there. And so that's what we did. So we did that. Then when we were in when we were exhibiting at Collision Conference, called Collision Conference. So when we exhibited in Collision Conference, we got guys from what you call this thing, UK.
Yes.
Who they're called private jet villas. It's a villas charter, villas something. Yeah. So this guy's like, I like your tech. We have a database of over 20,000 flyers, private jet flyers. We have 20,000 aircraft. So this is what happens. They have a platform that connects. If you have a private jet, most of the time you're not using it. So whenever you do, you list it with them. Then anyone who wants to get a private jet. They just give you a code. They manage your private jet on your behalf. So now a lot of people will get a code from them. And when they get a code, it's expensive. Then they cannot fly. So now we are having a technology that could make it easy. When I can book them, I'm like, yeah, there's already a guy going there. So you can get like a seat there or something. Then we offset the cost of flying private, right? So they lack the tech. Then that's where now hell break loose. Because now when you go back to the Indians, I'm like, yeah, no. These guys, they want us to white label the app for them because they said they cannot use our like brand and all that. So what we'll do is that we'll create an app called Villas Jet app. Then that Villas one, whatever that happens in Villas, it happens in CoFly. So if you sign up in Villas, you also sign up in CoFly, but we're not going to see that because they don't want to expose a small company to like their like corporate, someone who flies private, someone is. Yes, we're doing that. It's called white labeling, right? Yes. So we're doing that. So when we went back, and this guy's now head over, no, this young African guys are about to hit big. I'm like, so he started to like mess up. Hey, we want 40%. Hey, we want this. Hey, we want money. Hey. So he started being back and forth, and the client ended up like cutting us off. So I'm like, so that's what happened with CoFly. So that's why CoFly is not yet there. So we could not recover from that. It was painful, man, because we're like losing a very huge client. Yeah, so that's what happened. And COVID happened. 2019, that was like around May. Then 2020, then we went into COVID. Then iFirsh rose up. But we're still hopeful on CoFly because we're still getting leads because we left everything online. I think you saw the website. Have you checked the website?
I think I have, yeah.
You have, right? Yeah. So we left everything online. So during COVID, we got a lot of calls, people calling in, hey, I'm in France, I'm looking for a private jet. Do you? No, we are not doing that. But we just left it so that we can get...
But you're not, I mean, it's still there.
It's still there, yeah.
It's still there and you still visit it. How are you able to run? How do you manage the time? The thought processes, the energy.
Because CoFly is not... like it's not busy.
Active like that.
Because it's not active. Because what they did, Ghana, those guys, they just removed a bit of, like it's there on Google Play, but they removed something. So it's hard to work with, So even if when you get a new developer, it's tedious work. You just have to build it from scratch. That's why we've not like really went too deep into it. So it's not really taking my time. But I think as of next year, then I think I'm now going to like fully go back to CoFly because there's market there. Yeah.
All right. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful and quite interesting also, the markets and all that. Talk to me about the fourth industrial revolution. This is a topic that you talk a lot about. Talk to me about it, especially relating it to Botswana, where we are here today. What should we be doing? What should we be thinking about the fourth industrial revolution?
What should we be doing? This thing goes to facilitators. Facilitators meaning your private sector, your government. Those are key stakeholders. There's no how you could do anything, be it iFirsh doing its own tech there and Flourish just on its own. You need an enabler.
For sure.
So I think locally here we need enablers. We need people who will bet on tech. And it's the responsiveness of the market itself from the enablers' point of view is quite slow. I want to take you, for instance, if you are incubated, maybe at, I don't want to call us Stanbic out, but anyway, with Stanbic, it's something that you are still working on, but they must use your tech. Like, when you talk fourth industrial revolution, it means we just need usage because the apps are there. There are a lot of young people who do a lot of apps here.
True.
So we just need people who would use them. Set aside a small budget and say, I'm going to procure 1 million pula worth of services from iFirsh. By doing that, you are giving iFirsh a soft launching pad into the market, right? So we need enablers. When you talk fourth industrial revolution, for me, it's not about the tech. The tech is there. They are brilliant. I think you've interacted with a couple here.
Yes.
With the Boho and all that.
Cycle.
A lot of tech is here. So we just need enablers. And also, again, we're a bit traditional. Our funding model is a bit traditional. So when you want to push tech, it's kind of difficult to get the funding, because normally with tech, it's not tangible. So you can point this thing out and say, is this thing really worth 500,000, like you say? But you need 500K for it to develop the system,
Yes.
So, and there's no how they can can I reprocess this thing? You cannot not reprocess it, So I think it's still warming up to it. They've not really endorsed tech as an alternative to diversification of the economy. And just yesterday, Nigeria, for the first time in Africa, we are seeing technology being the greatest GDP country. So Nigeria managed with technology, away from oil. So it's quite impressive. So you see that indeed technology is the future. And I think Africa is it's ripe for like technological advancement, those super apps and all that. If you don't do it now in Africa, then you are going to miss out. So I think Africa is, and Botswana, we have an advantage. We have leverage, because in Botswana you can start a business. It's not as hard as when you do it in SA. SA is fast-paced market, but it's hard when you start from nothing. But in Botswana you can start from nothing. Things are a bit,
true.
The market for starting any business in Botswana is quite conducive. It's not as hard as other countries. You go to Kenya, you get into an incubator, they take 10% of your business before you even start. So those are the things that in Botswana, you just come here, it's free, and you can go to IDF and they give you a grant. You can go to, there's that. But in other markets, it's cutthroat. So I think Botswana, we stand at an advantage. And if you could be investing more into this small tech companies, they could actually go big. So for me, I think the job is on the enabler side. We already have the tech, we have the solution. There's a pain in the market, we've got the solution. We just need enablers. That's what we need.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. Before I ask my last question, you talked about startup funding and now funding to grow.
Yeah.
I think there's a big fundamental difference there, which I'd like you to get into.
Yes.
What kind of funding do you need now in terms of growing iFirsh and making it what you want it to become versus just starting it up?
We have built, the first stage is done. We've built the MVP, the minimum viable product.
Yes.
We've tested in the market. We've got market validation. We know what's next now. And what's next need a different funding. We need to increase our technology, like more developers, like to get developers on board. We need marketing. We need like serious marketing. iFirsh is volume-based. We need more people in iFirsh, and more people need to be taught about iFirsh. So I think the next phase is just execution, but more also into improving the tech. That's it. We already know what the customer wants. We have learned. That's it.
Are you willing to go public?
Not now, but of course. The idea is iFirsh, there's what we call the African Free Trade Agreement,
yes,
where Africa wants to trade amongst itself. So iFirsh really wants to be the go-to platform for this AFCTA. So we really want to create market, not only local for local SMEs. We want to create market for SMEs here to intertrade with guys in Zambia, to intertrade with guys in South Africa, to intertrade with guys in anywhere in Africa. So iFirsh, we want to be the Alibaba of Africa. I would say that. So that's what we are pushing for, and that's what we are aiming for.
Awesome.
So that's exactly what we want to do.
Awesome.
And if I may just add, because here we are talking about tech startup, how to set up a tech startup in Botswana and all that. And I want to like, because here we are talking about tech startup, how to set up a tech startup in Botswana and all that. And I want to like, because here we are talking about tech startup, how to set up a tech startup in Botswana and all that. And I want to like, because here we are talking about tech startup, how to set up a tech startup in Botswana and all that. And I want to like, because here we are talking about tech startup, how to set up a tech startup in Botswana and all that. And I want to like, because here we are talking about tech startup, how to set up a tech startup in Botswana and all that. And I want to like, because here we are talking about tech startup, how to set up a tech startup in Botswana and all that. And I want to like, because here we are talking about tech startup, how to set up a tech startup in Botswana and all that. And I want to like, because here we are talking about tech startup, how to set up a tech startup in Botswana and all that. And I want to like, because here we are talking about tech startup, how to set up a tech startup in Botswana and all that. And I want to like, because here we are talking about tech startup, how to set up a t share with people out there that Botswana is a great market, guys, to start with. Like, I can give you an example of even non-tech companies that has made it. Like, it's really a launching pad for like big companies. You look at, let's say, now, it's in 14 countries. It's in Ghana, it's in Nigeria, it's everywhere. It started in Botswana. And why did it start in Botswana? It's because it's easier to set up in Botswana. You look at Choppies. Choppies started in Botswana. And they transact over 6 billion pula on an annual base, more than that.
Sprint couriers.
You look at sprint couriers.
In England.
They're in England. You look at and it doesn't have like those vibes whereby the country they had some sort of system that did not work out, like back in SA, and everything is owned by different. Like, you can really set up in Botswana and make it big. You look at a company like Motorvec, the revenue is over 1 billion. Motorvec alone. I'm not talking about other small motor parts. So often people say Botswana is it's a small market. At 2.3, we need to have more kids. We don't need to have more kids. Yes, we need to, but but on this scenario, we don't necessarily need more kids, because you look at let's say what did 11 billion actually. Let's say alone did 11 billion. FNB did over 1 billion revenue.
Yes.
So if you look at this stat, it tells you that the market is there in Botswana. Orange Money does over 5 billion transactions. Orange Money, you are talking more of the unbanked market. But the transaction value that's how much. So you can see that indeed, Botswana is a great market. And we just need to believe in our own and just start. Look, iFirsh might even have teething problems. Even when you have a baby, there's the stage whereby it's normal. Even sometimes Google services, they are crash. So we need, and we don't need to bash this. When these things happen, we don't have to bash. We just must know what we are in a journey.
Support.
We are in a journey together to build this product, these great products out of Botswana. So I think we really need to really have confidence in our market and just believe in it and keep believing. Zambia has 18 million, I think 18 million people. Population, right? What is the GDP of Zambia? Can someone check fast there? The GDP of Zambia. On Google, say GDP Zambia.
Zambia GDP.
Yeah, just Zambia GDP.
What is the GDP of Zambia?
Yes. I want to show you something.
Siri.
What is the GDP of Zambia?
19? Can you check off Botswana?
19.2.
Yeah. Check off Botswana.
Botswana is actually
Check. Yeah, it's fine.
I understand your point, sir.
15.78 and 18 billion. How many are we? How many are they?
18.
18 million. So that means there's money for everyone. Is it not a big market?
Most definitely.
Guys, it's very
Most
huge.
definitely.
You look at it's huge.
Most definitely. Most
2
definitely.
million can do 15 billion, and 18 million people they're on 19 billion. So we really have a great market. Even if you go to Zambia, that means your chances of success there is
That's
yeah.
slim. That's slimmer.
They are very slim, you know. So Botswana is a great market, guys.
Well put.
Thank you.
Well
sir.
put. Well put. Well put. My last question to you. How do you want to be remembered as Martin de Klerk?
Man, I want to hit $100 billion. That's what I want to do. And I think I can do it.
Yes, sir.
I think I'm equally capable. I think Black Child, we are equally brilliant. It will take time, but we can do it.
Yes.
You are equally smart as Mark Zuckerberg. You are equally smart as anybody else out there. So just believe in yourself. So for me, I see myself, when I see Elon Musk, it's, I see myself like I'm equally capable. So for me, that's just the dream. Yeah, just want to hit $100 billion.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I don't know if people understand how much that money is. I don't know. I don't even know why they were quiet when you said 100 billion.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite something, because I always put it into perspective for people, because a million, if you count a million seconds, that's about 12 days.
Yeah.
And if you count a billion seconds, I haven't even lived a billion seconds. You haven't lived a billion seconds. It's about 34 years. Just 1 billion.
It's 1 billion.
So when you say 100 billion, yeah. We are talking.
Yeah, no, I think,
We are talking.
Africa. Africa is like China when China in 1980, everyone knew China, it's a bad space to be at. Like that policy whereby you have one child, people ba khatana, you see something, it's Hong Kong, all that, So I think we just have to be woke. Africa is rising. Like I always tell people, like, you can go and be a dad at Uganda or somewhere in Sierra Leone. Like, there's where, like, you still can dominate. So, and I think it's just upon us to just have that confidence in ourselves. And let us not put money as, like, when you do your next steps or when you do your plans, the first thing that you start with is money. Because the moment you say that, you're not going to do something because you are like, I have to go to the consumer fair and I need 7,000 for like branding and all flyers and all that. The fact that you don't have 7,000, it means now you are not going to go to the consumer fair. So that's not how I operate. I always tell my team, when they plan, they should never put money on, they should say what they want and we'll figure it out along the way. If it means going without even, we went to consumer fairs. It costed around 20,000 pula to like budget doing Zabudi flyer and all that. And I said to them, guys, we are digital. We'll tell Botswana we are not bringing anything. If you need us, we download the app. And we actually did that. Went to our store, there was nothing there, printable. Because that's the message we are sending. So sometimes you just have to take that thing in you, like, okay, I want to, like, I've never been in a jet before. Guys, I've never been to Canada. But I set up a company in Canada.
Yes, sir.
You see, and we just need to believe in ourselves and believe that we are equally smart. And this internet thing is just bringing a lot of, you can do anything with the internet. Yeah, so I think we just believe in ourselves and just know that we are equally smart. When you see yourself, see Cadbury. That's it. Thank
awesome. You. I think that needs a round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Martin the Klerk Moatshe. You've just heard his story. You've just heard about iFirsh. You've just heard about his entrepreneurial journey. Definitely dive into his world. You will be amazed. You will be breathtaking. And make sure to like this video, comment below, share it with one friend, and we'll meet same time, same place next week. Be great.